We're going to be talking about in this video why Airbnb data is so important. Now, this was something that I considered to not put into the course because, I talk about it so much beforehand before you actually come in here. And I go through a lot of different points, but I really want to drill down why the data is so important. I need you to understand. If you were to be buying an investment property, right, something that you're going to rent out on an annual basis, which has been going on for a very, very long time, the whole thing with that real estate investing, everyone says know your numbers, right? And the numbers that you need to know are your expenses plus your revenue, right? And the revenue, the way that people have been figuring that out is they look at the competition, they say, okay, that person's renting out for 2,000, that person's renting out for 2,000. I have also two bedrooms just like they do. I'm going to rent out for 2,000. And so my revenue is going to be $24,000 throughout the entire year. Super simple, right? Very, very, very simple. Then you take your expenses and you minus it and you see if you have any cash flow, right? There's other formulas that go into play with all of that as well, but that's the main number that you need to make sense of everything, okay? So imagine if you were going to be buying a property and you're going to Airbnb it, but you don't know what the annual revenue is going to be. Now you can kind of figure out the expenses. That's not too difficult, right? But you don't know what the annual revenue is going to be. The revenue, is it going to be 50,000 a year or $100,000 a year? Those are huge differences that make a world of a difference, right? And people will literally buy properties without knowing what the annual revenue is going to be, even though the entire industry of real estate has always said, know your numbers. And the main number you need to know is your revenue number. And the data that we have allows you to figure out what the revenue number is, but for Airbnb rather than annual rentals, Airbnb. And so you need to know that number. And the data has that number, right? And the way to get certain on that number is by having a bunch of other people that are all generally doing around the exact same amount. And once you can see that all these other people are generally doing the same, then you can feel confident that you can do the same, okay? And so that's why data is so important, because you don't want to buy a home and plan on Airbnbing it and it makes you $30,000 less than you had originally projected because you didn't take the time to actually understand the data in the numbers. Now, mind you, if you're here and you're watching this right now, I applaud you because you understand that. You have gone far enough that you believe what I'm saying, right? And you understand that knowing your numbers is so important, and that if you can just figure out that revenue number, then you could be successful. And odds are you're somebody who's already been doing this in the past. You've probably bought property in the past. You've probably tried Airbnb before and learning and going through AirDNA in the past. Or maybe you're just somebody who just understands logically what I've been saying for you to get to this point of watching this video. And I applaud you once again, right? Like I just said, right? But I hope that drills down like how important it is to understand the data, because you just can't be successful without knowing your numbers. You can just sign bad contract after bad contract, or maybe like decent contract after decent contract. You're never going to be able to build a business out of that, let alone a side income, let alone like just some extra cash that you can hold on to, right, for the work you're putting in. So you need to know your numbers, and the data is going to allow you to know that. And that's you just need to, right? Like it's simple as that. So yeah, I hope that I just passionately needed to talk about that for just a minute, just so you can truly understand where I'm coming from. And I apologize if you've heard that over and over and over again, but it is what it is. Let's get into it. Let's really figure everything out. Psyched again. Once again, let's go.